the remnants of the youth group. The rocking horse was perhaps the subject of a quarrel. Even though I'm 75 years old today, the only person I can recall attending was the Queen. Someone has just unleashed a royal bombshell. The royal family is reeling from the devastating news that Princess Anne purportedly relayed to King Charles. How could anything so terrible happen that not even the renownedly strong Anne could remain silent? The truth is unsettling the royal family, so let's delve in. Growing up, Princess Anne was far from a typical royal youngster. She was born into a life of affluence and tremendous responsibility on August 15, 1950. Tradition, duty, and the demands of the monarchy molded her upbringing, setting her apart from ordinary children. Queen Elizabeth, i.e.'s coronation occurred when Anne was a child, drastically altering the family dynamic. Anne was mostly raised by governesses and palace servants, because the Queen's royal duties took precedence. Even though her mother was quite busy, her primary governess, Catherine Peebles, made sure she had a great education. An advantage would be to have someone who can be recognized as that, and not only in your department. Anne was a strong-willed and independent little girl. She chose not to gripe about her mother's absence, going on to say that the Queen's profound love for her children was unwavering, no matter how busy she was. Anne was transferred to the prestigious boarding school Binenden School when she was 13 years old. Even though she had a hard time adjusting to being away from home, she made friends easily and did quite well in school. Her love for horseback riding, nevertheless, was the one revelation that altered her life forever. Unbeknownst to her, her passion for equestrian activities would shape her destiny and provide her with a formidable obstacle. Princess Anne's love of horses extended beyond the realm of leisure. She found solace in it, a refuge from the demands of her regal life. Even though her championship didn't provide her any special treatment, she found solace in the sport. Here, competence and resolve were more important than social standing. Problems will always arise, and you will always have to deal with them in the short term. Putting in countless hours of training, Anne demonstrated that she was more than simply a princess with a fancy hobby. When she won the European Championship in equestrian sports in 1971, she became the first British royal to do it. Everyone was convinced of her skills due to her hard work and skill. Her 1976 Olympic debut as a British representative was her crowning achievement. She faced an uphill struggle against the world's top riders. She remained firm nonetheless, in the face of mounting pressure. But getting to the Olympics wasn't exactly a picnic. She was in a terrible accident while training, one that caused her excruciating anguish. Many predicted that this would be the end of Anne's career, but she was unyielding. In spite of the discomfort, she was hell-bent on competing. She inspired us with her determination, even though she didn't win a medal. But Anne was going to confront a far greater obstacle, unrelated to horses, than her athletic accomplishments. In terms of service, comprehension, the manner in which individuals and communities love among the royal family isn't always easy. Include Anne's first marriage. She tied the knot with fellow equestrian Mark Phillips in a lavish ceremony that millions of people saw in 1973. The general populace thought the couple was ideal and gushed over them. However, their marital bliss was a facade. Their relationship was surrounded by rumors of adultery, as Mark's reported indiscretions were in the news. His alleged relationships with many women came to light, including a Canadian public relations executive and a British television host. Anne was also the target of rumors. Rumors of her strong relationship with her bodyguard and equity, Commander Timothy Lawrence, caused several to raise an eyebrow. The death knell, nevertheless, was rung in when a DNA test proved Mark had fathered a kid outside of their marriage. The relationship between Anne and Mark had already begun to crumble by 1989, when they announced their separation. The couple finalized their divorce 3 years after the fact. This time, Anne discovered love in a more understated manner. And having someone who can be acknowledged as that, rather than merely is definitely an asset. She wed Timothy Lawrence in a small, intimate ceremony in 1992, with about 30 guests present. A quiet, genuine union took place, without any frivolous festivities. There was an air of mutual understanding and respect in this marriage, in contrast to her previous one. While Anne's personal life had finally settled down, a peril remained on the horizon, one that would challenge her bravery. Princess Anne will never forget the night of March 20, 1974. A Ford Escort unexpectedly blocked Diana and her then-husband Mark Phillips's way back to Buckingham Palace. It wasn't long until a man stepped out. An astonishing scheme was hatched by the assailant, Iron Ball. His plan all along was to kidnap Princess Anne and hold her for ransom. Things got out of hand very fast. He wounded Anne's chauffeur and shot her personal protection officer. Also hurt was a journalist who stepped in to help. Where does Anne fit in? Not going to be intimidated, she said. Not bloody probable, was her fearless response to Ball's demand that she exit the vehicle. Her stubbornness shocked him. Dealing with it is necessary in many ways. First and foremost, a timely rescue was effected. Random bystander Ron Russell didn't think twice when he saw the mayhem. He gave the cops an opportunity to subdue Ball by punching him in the head. Although Anne was uninjured, the tragedy had a lasting impact on royal security. The courage of Anne garnered international attention. The bravery of his sister was something that even King Charles came to respect. Although she had encountered enemies from the outside, the most difficult conflicts frequently occurred within the royal family. There has always been an unwavering connection between King Charles and Princess Anne, no matter how much they differ. They went through the ups and downs of royal life side by side, despite being just 21 months apart in age. Anne was fearless and vocal when she was a little girl. Frequently posed challenges to Charles that only a younger sister could. Want to do? You need to be really cautious because you're giving them a lot of tasks to complete. She was the leader of their childhood escapades, according to her friends, and she would often beat her brother at sports and horseback riding. Anne possessed a daring attitude, in contrast to Charles's reserved nature. There was always respect between them, albeit their personalities couldn't have been more different. Their friendship endured until adulthood. Charles was accompanied by her unwavering support as he assumed the throne following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Anne showed no hesitation, even when Charles was in the midst of a health crisis. To ease his load, she volunteered to take on more royal responsibilities. Their relationship, however, was not without of conflict. Rumors about Anne's actual feelings started circulating as a schism developed between her and Queen Camilla. Although they kept up appearances of amicability for a long time, Camilla knew that things weren't always so cutthroat. "I can't recall a soul, and I'm 75 years old." Allegedly, Camilla's less strenuous attitude to royal duties irritated Anne, who is renowned for her strong work ethic. According to sources close to the matter, Anne was reportedly privately dissatisfied when Camilla took a vacation due to Charles' health problems. It was rumored that Anne thought Camilla should have stayed a queen consort rather than becoming queen. Anne had always been outspoken about her love of tradition, but Charles was unprepared for her next revelation. Even King Charles was taken aback by Princess Anne's most recent decision, despite her long-standing devotion to the monarchy. Reportedly, she changed everything with a message she delivered in a private family discussion, a message no one expected. An important royal family meeting was the catalyst. Important financial problems, such as the allocation of their mother's estate, were being considered when King Charles assumed his new duty. In a unique system that guarantees the royal riches stays intact, when a monarch dies, their wealth usually goes to the new king without incurring inheritance tax under British tax laws. On the other hand, the king's siblings are exempt from this restriction. This meant that Prince Andrew, Princess Anne, and Prince Edward could claim a share of the inherited riches of Queen Elizabeth III. The drawback is that they would be subject to a 40% inheritance tax on whatever money they got. This wasn't only a money talk for Anne. The topic at hand was the monarchy's potential future. Anne shocked everyone by making a stunning announcement when it was her